Hi, I'm Ken, also known as Overlaxer on Instagram, and I just wanted to give you a rig tour of my 2023 Jeep Gladiator that my wife, my son, and I use to go on camping adventures all up and down the East Coast, up in the mountains of New England. Let's start out here. It's a Rubicon. I've got the Warn VR12 Evo winch with the Factor 55 fair lead, the Factor 55 Ultra hook, and running the Method bead grip wheels with a Clayton 4-inch suspension with the Falcon adjustable shocks. And I've also recently upgraded to the Synergy steering components to beef up the steering box and front end to avoid sway on the highway with all the weight that I carry. I've got the rock slide drop downs for the vertically challenged passengers, including myself. And for communications, we're running the Midland 575 radio and the 67 designs set up for phones and for a camera. And up top here, we've got the Trail Racks roof rack that is designed to go with the Alu-Cab ModCAP tent to get some future storage cases for up there, because a build's never done. Here in the back, I've got a couple of Blue Ridge Overland bags with like our winch accessories, and I've got the IceCo 35 quart fridge, which we just switched to from the larger Dometic that was a little taller and a little bit bigger, but internally they're almost the same size. I had the Dometic 45. Keep all my recovery gear there under a seat delete that I built. I've had a couple variations of these, but I lowered this one for the refrigerator. And I've got the Blue Ridge Overland gear attic up in the top for all of our rain gear, cold weather gear, and anything else we might need. So over here on the passenger side, I've got the Kraken inflation system from Epic. That thing's a game changer. You can change or inflate all 4 tires at the same time. And if you'll notice the switch is missing, I actually run that off of my Switch Pro, because that way I can control it from the driver's seat where I can see the air pressure while it's going in. And then I guess the biggest mod of all is this. This is the Alu-Cab ModCAP. This is actually the first ModCAP that OK Four-Wheel Drive put on a Gladiator when they first came out. And so far we're loving it. You can tell it's the ModCAP because they've changed the design. They've got the stamped aluminum as opposed to the old design. And the tent on the top, I have the 2-person Wedge, but we could switch that out to the 4-person family if we want to. Or we can take it off and just have it be like a truck cap with a flat top. I'm a fly fisherman, so I've got my River Quiver fly rod up there. We've got our shower cube. And our newest addition to this was our Dickinson heater. That was the last part of the build that I had to put in to keep us warm in the cold winter nights, because we do like to camp in the winter time as opposed to in the summertime when everybody else is at the campground. And something I recently changed, this is the Julka hot tap, which we used to have mounted inside, and I actually have plumbed to my water tank. But between the fumes and the discharge of water when we were unhooking everything, being inside and trying to clean it up, I opted to move it to the outside, and it's on that removable quick detach bracket. So I can just pop this off and put it away when we're not using it, so it's not out in the elements. And coming around to the inside. So coming to the inside, I used to have a custom cabinet shop. I used to do really high-end custom cabinetry, so I opted to build all my own stuff. So this is all built out of white oak with full 3/4-inch drawers, and I made this bed platform which has these panels down here for our son to sleep when we're going. But in the wintertime, sometimes it's cold and you want to be in with the heat. So one of the things that I added was this Lagoon table mount. This is the last section of the sleep platform here. And this turns into a table so we can sit anywhere we want to all the way around. And this rotates so we can sit inside. I could work in here if I needed to, or I can push it out of the way on either side. And then you'll see, just like in the front, I got a small collection of more Blue Ridge Overland gear bags. One of the other mods that we did to this, they don't really offer a great place to put the Alu-Cab table. So I took an old bracket set they had for the contour canopy and I put spacers on it. So my table actually mounts here under our sleep platform. So my wife and I sleep up there and my son sleeps down here. And one of our other additions that we're working on right now, or mods, was like we're running the Hest mattress up there. And so I took the old mattress and we're cutting it out in modular sections down here to be removable for my son to be able to sleep, or for us to hang out and watch movies or eat if it's really cold out. And stay out of the elements. And then one of the other things that we have here is from GP Factor, we have their Red Arc Red Vision system. So through this touch screen, I can control everything from water, fridge, all my different lighting, my power sources, fan for the heater, and fans for I have my Scirocco fans up top, 2 of those. And of course, for safety, we've got our CO sensor. So on the interior with the storage compartments, so we've got these lift up panels. We keep all of our, some of I have set up now, but we keep our chairs and our hammocks in here. And I've got these set up, more Blue Ridge Overland bags. Got one for propane, one for all of our water and water filter that we use for the tank. And got one here for the Starlink. Everything tucks away nicely and has a place, and everything has labels on it so we know what it is when we're reaching in. And helps make setup a lot faster when we get to camp. I have another one on this side here that's all set up with our fire pit, our Devos light, and anything else we need. So this is all campsite type stuff over here. And then this table here, one of the beauties of this that I mentioned was this is also part of the sleep platform. So this comes out. This gets out of the way. And then this panel's removable. And my battery's stored under there. Then this panel goes in. And then this panel drops in. And then, like I said, we're going to do cushions. Right now, we actually have a sleep pad that we put in here for my son to sleep in. So he sleeps down here, and we're up top on our nice Hest mattress. And that's the setup there. And then one of the most valuable pieces, I think, if you can't get the awning, you can't get the shower cube, you can't get the water tank, one of the absolute hands down best features of the Alu-Cab is the fact that they also have the midge screens, which drop down and keep all the bugs out. So I've got screens on both sides, screens on the back door, as well as the screens up top. And then all of Alu-Cab's material, whether it's for their awning or they also have privacy panels up here that roll down. So these will come down and they actually have cutouts in them for the built-in lights that they have. So the lights will actually shine through a hole that's in there, so that we have interior lighting. And that's one of the other great things with Alu-Cab is they actually have in here, there's a gooseneck light that comes out. There's USB charging ports, and there's lights all over. There's one on the back door. We have a light on each side door. There's a light underneath of the bed. There's a light on top of the bed, and all those lights will be white, high, low, medium, or high, medium, low. And they also will go red, high, medium, low. And the red's nice for nighttime for your vision and also for the insects. You what? Then I guess coming around here to the back door, we've got the GP Factor drop-down table with the pull-out cutting board. Some more Blue Ridge Overland gear for all the good spicy spices in here. And all of our silverware and cookingware up here. Got the Demmer box mounted with the removable mount that I found out about from Mountain State Overland. So it just clicks on, clicks off, so I can take it with me if we're on the river fly fishing or whatever we're doing. This just clicks up into place, it's out of the way. Got the Expedition Essentials paper towel holder, so we don't have streamers of paper towels flying through our campsites when we're set up. Got the GP Factor propane tank over here. And to me, one of the best features of this entire setup is this 270 awning that we're underneath of. And as you get my Instagram handle being Overlaxer, so besides using this for camping, one of the other things that we use it for is my son plays lacrosse. So sometimes this is the support vehicle for the lacrosse team with the cold beverages and food storage and shade in between games. Instagram stuff is either on this rig in our adventures or it's on his lacrosse. And you know, we're planning a trip later this summer where he goes away to camp, and we're going to pick him up and spend a week up in Vermont on all the Class 4 roads, checking out the Green Mountains. We spent a lot of time over in the White Mountains in New Hampshire, and this is what we love doing. So one of my other newest additions to our setup is the Tembo Tusk. A little bit of a learning curve to this, but I'm starting to figure it out, and we really like it. It's pretty simple cleanup, easy to cook on once you know how to do it. Our other stove that we have that I don't have with me today is a cook partner that we use. So between those two systems, we're pretty much good to go to cook anything. All of our dry stuff is kept in this Argus box, which I made a top for. We just keep all of our goodies in there. Anything that we don't need to keep in the fridge goes in there, and then this goes in and fits underneath of the platform when we're sleeping at night to not have to worry about any bears or raccoons or anything else that might be out in the woods. And then we've also got the Dometic water jug with the touch tap anytime we need drinking water, in addition to the 13-gallon tank that we have on board. So up behind this Molly panel is the Alu-Cab 13-gallon tank. So we use that for all of our hot water, cleaning up, showers, whatever we need for that. And then we use the Dometic for our drinking water. And then I've also got, my tap is here. So I've got my water tap. This is the hookup if we're shore power. If I'm putting this thing in the storage, I can keep the batteries topped off. And then my propane hookup for the stove. And then here on the back, as I mentioned, we've got the Julka hot tap, and I've also got the Max Track set up. And currently I don't have anything on that Molly panel, but I'm sure I'll find something to go in there, probably a shovel. So, you know, I get a lot of people turn their heads when they see this just because it's a pretty big rig. And one thing I've always been known for throughout my life is some of the rigs I've had. I started out way back 20 some years ago, built a couple different rock crawlers, have always kind of been in the Jeep scene, also owned a few Toyotas here and there, as well as doing some drag racing. But my love was always more for the outdoors and camping and hunting and fishing and all that. So this is definitely, out of all the vehicles I built, this is the one that lends itself to what we really love doing as a family. I've also, you know, my wife drives a TRD Pro 4Runner that we originally started out in that. We had a rooftop tent on that, and I had an entire system built out in the back. And just with that being a daily driver for her, it was a bit much. So at that point, we switched over to this. And I actually had the original version of this. I had the contour canopy when Alu-Cab first came out with that. I had one of the first contour canopies, and we put the rooftop tent on it, and I built it out. But it was still a lot to open the tent and deal with the awnings that we had and everything else. And I really wanted something that was multi-level that we could all fit into, but was also super easy to set up. And I can, in all honesty, in a minute and a half, if I have to, I can have this tent up and have everything open and have the awning deployed and be ready to camp. And then, you know, take some time, obviously, to set up the Julka and other stuff. But it's just something that we really love doing, and we spend a lot of time in it. And you don't have to have this to get in the outdoors. I started camping in Scouts with a pup tent and a backpack, and for years my wife and I ground tent camped and would find cool places to go and different adventures to go on. But now we've just extended it even farther, and with a rig like this on 37s, there's not too many places I can't get to go see what I want to see and show my boy the world as it should be, with a rolling education out in the wilderness and in the woods when he's not in school, and just teach everybody what it's all about. And you know, I'm part of a cool community where I help people and doing the build outs and stuff like that. I've helped people do it, or I've helped them design them. And just coming up with cool out of the box stuff that just makes everybody's rigs one of a kind. But you don't have to drop the kind of money that I did, but you'll eventually end up here. Everybody does. So that's it. This is my Jeep. This is our fun. And unfortunately right now it's also my daily commuter, so she's getting some high miles on her, but I'm going to get something that's a little friendlier on fuel. The other things I forgot to mention too, with the power system that we have in here, I have a DC to DC charger, so that while we're driving, I can completely recharge my battery system back there. I'm only running a 100 amp hour battery, and so far I've never taken that down below 70%. When we are at camp, one of the other things that we have is up top there, we have a 200 watt Lensun solar panel, flexible panel that I've adhered to the roof, and been totally happy with it. Like I said, you'll see a lot of people on YouTube that do these 200 amp hour, 300 amp hour, 400 amp hour battery systems, and I guess they need those for their electronics and everything, their cameras and stuff and drones. But like I said, we've never taxed this. One of the other things that I have that we pull off of the power system is I actually just got the Starlink Mini. I don't have a mount for it yet, but it's going to go on top of my roof rack, so that way we can have communications. And we don't use that to glamp or watch movies in the wilderness or anything, but it's just for people to be able to communicate with us if we need it. Because if you're not out where there's no cell signal, are you really camping? So that's kind of our take. We like to get out and get off grid, but still have the comfort of having people reach out to us.
Thank you.
Yep.